What up, y'all? It's Wolf Sage coming at y'all with another video. How's everyone doing? Um, yeah, we've had. It's been it's been a slow week. It's been a slow week. For all you don't who probably will see this later on, Stan Lee died. Yeah, Stan Lee died this week. Real shitty, y'all. Like that shit. Like that was just out of nowhere. Like honestly, I didn't even like. You know, y'all see me now. Y'all see me better. Yeah, Stanley died. That shit sucks. And yeah. So in honor of a legend, creative legend like that, a storytelling legend, who all of you who don't know, I don't know why you wouldn't know who Stan Lee is. But Stan Lee, he's a creator of all different sorts of superheroes. Really through Marvel. He helped create Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, X-Men stories, all that stuff. He's that old white dude that you see in all the Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. And yeah, he died at what was it, 90, 95, 90? Yeah, he was old as shit. He was it was going to happen at this time making this video. I don't think they really came out on how he died or why he died or shit like that. But yeah, a legend. Just got more legends just being gone every day, y'all. But yeah, so in honor of his memory, I want to touch on you know, I wanted to touch on comic books, and by talking about comic books, I mean like some of my favorite ones, some of the ones that I got influenced on. So, yeah, I'm gonna take my glasses off, and y'all can see me. Yeah, so what was my first comic book? What was my first comic book? Yeah, phone ringing. Phone always ringing, y'all. Um, so I believe my first favorite comic book character, and still my favorite comic book character of all time, Blade. Blade. And it's not just because he's black. It's because he's a fucking vampire hunter. He's actually like the best vampire hunter that I think that we should have been receiving for all these years instead of like fucking Twilight and shit. But you know, and a lot of people don't know he was the first. That Blade movie that they made back in like 90 something, that was the first superhero movie before the cinematic universe really stepped in. That was the test. He would be walking up. That was the whole test, you guys, and that shit was crazy. I remember being a kid watching that shit, and I was just like, this nigga is going around just slicing motherfuckers up. You only saw like vampires, like the regular, like, Transylvania type vampires and stuff. And, his was like the first, Wesley Snipes' portrayal was like the first one that really, really like showed diversity, showed like personality, like this cool, like, dark universe. Like, it's just awesome. Blade 2, pretty awesome as well. Blade 3, I mean, you know, you know, I like Blade. You know, I really his outlook on comics, like his portrayal in comics, hadn't really like expanded a lot. You know, every time I go out to like a comic book store or go here, go there, start looking up stuff on Blade, there's not really any titles or any like real stories going on. You actually kind of hear only a lot of like the older stuff, whether you hear it through his appearances in like different comic books over the years, or um, I know he's made appearances on like Spider Man, like the animated universe and all that stuff. He's done all that. They did have the TV show. The TV show was, ugh. Like I started to watch it and I was just like, I man, like Wesley Snipes, right? Like you just need to they need to do the Blade movie. We need a Blade movie. We need a Blade movie, a current one, you know. And I actually want to do that shit, you know. So Blade was a big one. I don't know. I really like dark shit, you know. So I was like, when I was coming up, I was really interested into like a lot of anime, so a lot of gore and a lot of horror and action and all that stuff. And I wanted the same stuff for my comics. I really didn't care that much about fucking I don't know. Cause like I'm trying to think like there's other like protagonists. I like the protagonists like sort of like the anti-heroes sort of thing. So like, you know, Deadpool of course, freaking Red Hood, all those all those dudes, Punisher, Daredevil. I didn't get into Daredevil until the Netflix series. I'm gonna be real with y'all. Netflix series is pretty good. I hope they don't cancel it. I know they canceled Luke Cage. Luke Cage. I hate. I hate that they canceled Luke Cage because we need more shows like that. But honestly, Luke Cage just wasn't doing it for me, y'all. It wasn't, and it's okay. It's like it was just it was too much talking and it was not enough action, not enough like you literally have a black man that can withstand bullets. Like you guys can can go crazy. Y'all can do the most, and it will work. It will work. But yeah, as far as like comic books, like Blade started out, so it helped us be able to get all these, you know, movies and stuff like that that we have now, like Infinity Wars and Black Panther, like you know, and for me, Stan Lee, him even like giving that him helping create Black Panther and Wakanda and all that stuff. Even though a lot of black people be like, "Oh, that's our stuff. That's our stuff." It was created by a white man and white people, but you know the culture is there, and or the idea of a culture is there when you think of like Wakanda, and I think that's something that can help. That just helps narrate the growth and the cycle of like you know people creating their own worlds and having their own trends and things. You know things to you know fall back on culturally, and so I don't know. My gift, if I think that we can take anything out of Stan Lee's death and you know other deaths that maybe to come, us as creators, us as influencers, we need to put we need to be able to help create more. So what Stan Lee had, you know, even though there's many other writers came after him and he was mostly just doing his thing with the movies and stuff. Yes, and he did collaborate on different stuff. I remember he like collaborated on this anime sort of thing. It was okay. Ooh, excuse me, but um, yeah, what I think I could be able to bring to you know continue his legacy or continue the legacy of creating this you know dream world, you know, this world where you could create stuff and make stuff and shape things to happen that are pretty difficult here in real life. So for me, I would love to do retelling of Blade. You know, if you guys don't know the whole story behind Blade, he's from London. He's not American. He's from the UK. His mother was working in a brothel, and she lived in a I don't know if it was a house or a building complex with these other different women, and he was raised. It wasn't a brothel. It was just like an apartment home, you know. So he was raised in there with his mom and the women. They were like his family, and it wasn't until no, he wasn't there. Yeah, that's the whole thing. My bad. I'm tweaking y'all. I'm thinking of like so many different things, but no, his mom was working there. She was prostituting and she was living with these women. So after she got bit while she was pregnant, and that caused that caused her to go into labor, and of course the vampire that bit her. Different stories. They say like vampire bit her, Dracula bit her, and then some people say that who else bit her? Deacon Frost, the one from the first Blade. Um, like he's the one. He was the one who bit her, but she got bit. She ended up dying. Blade, he lived, and then his mom's friends, the other women that she worked with and lived with, took care of him. So I don't know like the full story, but make a long story short, he gets older. He ends up discovering more about himself and his powers. I think something ends up happening to the women to, get them killed. But he ends up meeting up with, uh, running into Whistler, who later, when Whistler's this old white guy who had his family taken away, and he was a vampire hunter, and he saw that Blade was something else. Blade was a half vampire, half human, and he had all their powers but none of their weaknesses. And if it was me, I'm like, come here, boy, bring that ass here. And so that's what he did, and he was like, they was geeky, they was geeking from right now, from there on. And so, yeah, so that's his origin. You know, he learned martial arts. He was able to, figure out more of his abilities. The only weakness he has is the thirst. And I think that's like very funny when we think of the thirst, because like the thirst is like something like he needs to feed on blood. It's like it consumes you, and that's what in a lot of these vampire werewolf themed movies. It's like the thirst it will always overcome you, and that's something that he has to overcome all the time. Also, the fact that he's fighting a war with vampires, where vampires like mostly own majority of the world, and most of the world kind of sort of don't know that they exist. So it's like, fuck. But I have the idea of reworking. I really feel like they should start back from the beginning when he was a child and kind of build that up. I want to see his. I don't know. Even they can go into his mother. I feel like mostly, um, if anything, we should have like flashbacks or sort of times with his mother when his mother was alive and show more of his growing up and his growth into it. Or maybe we don't. That's one idea. The other idea I have is, you know, just start from after the first or second movie, you know. I'm sorry, y'all. I was just eating, so I got like mad, like congestion, like gas in my chest. But yeah, I think we should probably start after the first or second movie. So, he defeats Deacon or he defeats um, the vampires from the second movie, and from there he just continues going on what he's doing. He's doing that, and actually want to introduce children into his or a child into his phrase. So he ends up after years and years. The story will take place, years and years ahead, and it turns out that that woman doctor um, from the first movie, I don't know, or some other woman, she ends up getting pregnant, have this kid, kind of like kept this kid away from Blade for all this time, or Blade probably knew about this kid, had some idea, but it could be a mutual thing of, hey, let's keep our child out of this. Like, I'm gonna do me and you do you. You take care of the kid. I don't know, but I like the idea of Blade having a child, but that child not being a part of his life. So, like, connected. I feel like that should be like something later on we should get out of Blade. I really like the idea of us growing Blade more, because I think we don't have enough of. We have his personality, his charms and likeness from the movies, but I feel like the way we see a Iron Man, Robert Downey Jr., or we see Captain America, we can actually like We have more of them on the screen because in a comic book you're only going to get so much out of that, and that's what connects a lot of people to comic books is having that connection, that emotional feel when you actually hear them talk and speak and sound like comic books. Most comic books are supposed to be relatable with a mix of imagination. Has to make some sort of sense. If it doesn't, then there's a category for that. But yeah, that's what I think. I think Blade should come back. I think they should redo fucking Luke Cage. They definitely need to redo Luke Cage. More fighting, more like. I think it should be more like controversy. Like I understand him like trying to like make the neighborhood better, get people like I don't know. Yeah, I might come back. I might come back with another like Luke Cage sort of thought on what to do with Luke Cage because honestly, I don't. I wasn't really into Luke Cage like that growing up, so get what I got my opinion. But for Blade, yeah, I think we should either you know rework, start from his past, and grow from there. Try to show his battles and his journey into becoming not only a young man, a young black man, but also becoming a half vampire and discovering things about his mom emotionally, physically, mentally, and hopefully have that reflect to him as the Blade we know now. Because we need to know how he became this figure, this upper echelon legendary vampire hunter. You know, I think we owe him that. We were able to do that. We were able to get a good insight and glimpse into Black Panther. Now it's time to go for the other ones, man. Time to go for the other ones. But yeah. Rest in peace, Stan Lee. It's super sucks. Super sucks. Great legend. He brought a lot to this world, a lot to this culture. He changed a lot of lives. You know, me and a couple of my friends always make jokes that like, hey, he's gonna be in like a whole bunch of other movies. They're just gonna have his ass in the background, just chilling, just fucking like his body just in the background, I'm pretty sure they've already filmed like a shit ton of like like Stan Lee scenes just to put in there. We're gonna see like the same one we saw from Guardians of the Galaxy and fucking Fantastic Four 8 in the future. Who knows? I think they should more put him in animate him more. He should really get into the animated world. Yeah, and just have him there, or recreate his character and hopefully find a good voiceover person to be able to, make up his voice, just something. Yeah, but yeah, let's like, subscribe, follow, do the Instagram artwork.by.wolfsage, you know, and I'll see y'all again. This is Daydream.